Good morning. It's Ginny, Tim, and Eli from DS Tech in Escanaba, Michigan, and we're going to talk to you today about Windows 10 end of life. If you haven't been paying attention, they announced it last year. And we were just saying, nobody ever prepares enough for these things and budgets enough. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to help you through that process and tell you where to find help and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So drop your questions, drop your comments, and ask if you need help. dstech.net. You'll find us there. So what do we got, Tim? When is end of life first?
Okay, so if you want just a hard date, that's what you came for, and that's it. October 14th, 2025. That's when
the viewer count's dropping.
That's when Microsoft will no longer provide free security updates for your computer, kind of much like with Windows 7 end of life, if you remember that. They did offer some offerings to help you kind of limp along, but really you should be planning to replace your Windows 10 computers with Windows 11 computers, or see if your computer is compatible. You may have an existing computer, maybe it's only 1 or 2 years old.
Yep.
Chances are it probably has the requirements and can just be upgraded rather than getting a new computer outright. However, there is some new stuff, and we'll get into that in a detailed deep dive on Windows 11 requirements on a separate video about all the individual components required on your hardware. Because the biggest thing I get is someone's like, hey, I got this laptop 4 or 5 years ago, and it says it's not compatible with Windows 11. Right. We'll go into a whole nother episode deep diving into why and what requirements are there, but just be aware there's a little test you can do in Windows to say, is my device compatible? So on an individual computer, you can just look in your system to see that. But if you want to do like a larger report too, you can reach out to us if you're a client. We can do like an inventory of your computers and help you come up with a plan to then budget and, upgrade or replace computers as needed before the hard cutoff date.
Why do they want to do that though?
Go to Windows 11?
Yeah. Why not just stay on Windows 10, even though it's end of life?
Just because with Windows 11, there's new security features on it. There's new things Microsoft is always doing. They always have the new iteration of operating systems. It's not going to always just stay the old, not Windows XP anymore forever, right? There's always new advancements. And with those new advancements and some of the tools come then better security is honestly the biggest thing. Is there's like this thing called the TPM 2.0 chip you need, and some other stuff we'll go into deep dives later. But that's basically a hardware requirement, a physical processor on your computer that handles security. So even if your computer device is 4 or 5 years old, it may not have that newer chip in it, and that'll disqualify the device from truly doing Windows 11. Now, there are ways you can like trick the system and hack your way to getting an upgrade, but we recommend against that because certain updates won't work. Maybe certain drivers are going to start acting wonky. Your computer may start having all these underlying problems.
When you're doing it to prevent vulnerability.
Yeah, you don't usually want to go that route. Extreme emergency or something.
And it would also be because as operating systems age, they can't plug the holes anymore, right?
Exactly. There's just new technology, I guess, that the hackers are using, and so there's certain things that are built and baked into the operating system that could just be maybe potentially not changed with the new operating system. They're kind of creating a new baseline, installing things, and just with every iteration of Windows, there are just new features and new security holes and then new security features to help plug those holes. So it is a continually evolving thing where there's new operating systems, there's new things coming out.
Outlets I've had in my house for years have been fine, but now that they have the one with the GFC outlets that you can trip. Oh, they're less of a fire hazard. I didn't know I had a fire hazard for all these years.
Yes, in fact,
wouldn't you want to switch? You know, so it might.
And especially with AI is the biggest thing with Windows 11 Copilot. The new AI computers are really kind of pushing that on.
My new laptop has a Copilot button.
Yeah, exactly. So you're Copilot ready, right?
Just look at that.
You're good to go. Exactly.
Isn't that cool?
So the new computers are being with better chips, better technology that are designed to actually work with AI, and how AI uses like horsepower in the background to be very efficient is a big thing too. So now there are
which helps them battle the hackers.
And then the defense too.
Right?
Yeah, because we have security programs that are using AI and machine learning while the attackers are using AI and machine learning. So it's just like a constant back and forth.
Wouldn't it be safe to say too that, whatever softwares, bad or good, are out there would, have a lot more knowledge about Windows 10 systems rather than 11. So if you're a bad actor, theoretically,
It's like you install
You got-
regular software on your computer. You're like, you say you had a software for Windows 10, now you got Windows 11, and you might have to get a new version or it's not compatible anymore. It's the same thing with the hacker tools, just like what you're saying. We have these hacker tools out, and they work for our, Windows 10 and all the way back to Windows XP. But when Windows 11 comes out, the code may not work properly with Windows 11 because it's a little bit different until they modify it. So it also creates a little bit of a buffer zone area.
The constant battle back and
Oh,
forth.
yeah.
Just constant
Oh, yeah.
back and forth.
Interesting.
Um,
Okay.
So, with Windows 10 being end of support, there are a few things you can do. The biggest thing would be to just figure out which computers need to be replaced, which ones need to be upgraded, and then plan a budget of how are you going to do this, one computer a month or however your, environment calls for it.
If you start now, you got 10 months.
Yep. You got quite a bit of time, but still that 10 months will go by fast if you're
Yes.
talking about business and things.
For
as they
sure.
go. Now, for the first time ever, Windows or Microsoft, I should say, is actually offering the extended security updates. They call them ESUs. And so for $30 per device for a home user, you can get one more year of security updates. So if you got that home computer and you just want to push it out for one more year getting security updates, you could pay $30 and now you're covered for another year, just getting security updates, and then you're good there. However, for business, it's a little bit more. And again, these prices may change as it gets closer to it because you can't sign up for this exactly yet. But for business, the first year, they're going to charge you $61 per device. The second year, it actually doubles. So now they're going to charge you $122 for that second year. And then for your third year, they're going to charge $244. The reason they're ramping it up each year is they really are trying to push people to go towards Windows 11 rather than just hang on to this Windows 10 device for 3 more years. Because if you add up all that, you're looking at like what, almost $450. That could have just been money you put right to a laptop if you could afford it now. That's Windows 11. And then now you got your 3 years and then some. It's a better bang for your buck to do that. If you did, weren't in an area where maybe you're redlining real bad this year and you're like, we just need one more year and then we'll replace. Totally get it. Every business has to kind of make that decision. But if you can, if you're
Well, there's that too.
and post retirement and no need to upgrade now, just ride it out. Whatever your decision is, but the best decision is to go to Windows 11. The new equipment, the new hardware, all that kind of stuff will be the better choice if you can plan for that. So. That's pretty much about all I had on the Windows end of life date. We'll go again on a deeper dive in another episode where we'll go all the different requirements, certain processor speeds. You need that TPM security chip and some other little nuanced stuff. One big thing if you're a home user is that Windows 11 for home requires you to have a Microsoft account when you do the initial setup now, where for business, you can still bypass that a little bit. But for home users, keep that in mind. If you don't have a Microsoft account yet, you might as well start it before you do it. So then you can kind of tie things in as you go. So.
Which is really easy. You just give it a username and a password. And
set up multi-factor.
yes, do that too.
Please, yes.
And get that vault, right?
Vault,
like we use
password,
Keeper, right? We use
Yep.
Keeper for all your passwords so that
Get
you.
yourself a
Yeah.
Thank you. I couldn't. The word would not come into my
Oh,
brain.
yeah.
What is it?
Password
It's a
manager.
vault. I type in vault all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
So again, if you're curious, if you do business with us and you want to report or meet and kind of maybe go through all your systems, come up with a plan, by all means, reach out and we'll work with you.
yeah, just drop
Give
a
me a call.
comment.
Yeah.
Or call Eli, or just go to our website, dstech.net, and fill in the form for your free assessment too at the same time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Tim. Make it a great day. We'll see you next time.